On Valentine's night, I made a whole spread of dishes Laura loves. She didn't get home until late. As she walked in, something fun fell out of her bag, which she didn't bother explaining. Instead, she snapped at me. "We're an old married couple. Why celebrate Valentine's Day? Don't wake up our son." While she was in the shower, I sneaked a look at her phone. That's when I found out she had been on a date with our son's martial arts coach. The guy posted a kissing photo on his social media, but Laura's face wasn't visible. However, beneath the post, my son seemed upset, commenting multiple times, "How can you have a girlfriend?" Later that night, I heard a noise at the door. Laura came in, exhausted, while I was still sitting at the table. The food was cold, and the fresh flowers were wilted. As she slipped off her heels and went to remove her stockings, a small item fell from her bag, covered in some unidentifiable substance. "Is this your idea of a surprise? Just a table of food? I guess spending too much time in the kitchen makes you useless," she snapped, turning the situation around without explaining the fallen item. "Where have you been?" "I've been waiting so long," I asked. Annoyed, Laura shot back. "Are you questioning me, Gary? We're an old married couple. Don't wake up our son." With a headache and reeking of alcohol, she walked past me, ignoring everything I'd prepared. I'd been busy all day cooking her favorite dishes and even got flowers and a bag she had her eye on. As she reached the stairs, she seemed to remember something, pulling out an old watch from her pocket. "Here, a gift for you. Stop playing around and acting jealous at your age." The watch was battered, clearly secondhand. Laura tossed it on the table and walked away. Angry and unable to hold back, I looked at her phone again while she showered. The latest message was to my son's coach, their conversation incredibly explicit. "Does he make you feel good? Be a good girl. Don't mention him, he never satisfies me. Being with him is just acting. You're way better." I accidentally opened the coach's profile and saw the kissing photo, along with a picture of a new watch. Laura must have given it to him. The old watch she gave me must have been his cast-off. What crushed me was my son's comment under the post, thinking the coach announced another relationship. "How can you have a girlfriend? Master, once a teacher, always a father. Will you be my dad?" My hand trembled uncontrollably. After calming down a bit, I recorded everything on my phone. "I've given everything to this family." At the peak of my career, Laura convinced me to become a full-time cook because she didn't like eating out. During my free time, I tutored our son, which became a reason for him to resent me. He'd complain I only knew how to make him study, whereas his coach was better. He was tired of me. After her shower, Laura changed into pajamas, covering herself fully. She had complained to the coach before, saying even a touch from me made her sick, and she'd shower multiple times because of it. "Let's get divorced, Laura." "Divorce? Are you making a fuss just because I didn't spend Valentine's Day with you? When did you become so unreasonable?" Her eyes flashed with mockery. "You're over 30, almost outcast by society. Without our marriage, how will you survive?" She started criticizing me. My heart hurt, and I struggled to breathe. "Yes, I'm that useless. So what's stopping you from divorcing? Fine, if you want a divorce, you leave with nothing. Plus, our son stays with me. Let's see how tough you are." In previous fights, I never considered divorce. We have a son, and for him, I endured everything. But now, thinking about my son eagerly wanting a new dad, I decided to let him have it. Fine. My response surprised Laura. She used our son to manipulate me before. "Wow, Gary, you're even ditching your son?" I didn't know why Laura refused to divorce. Clearly, she was cheating and still wanted to hold on to me. Maybe I was just a free housemaid for her, useful when needed. She didn't even have to provide much emotional support. Friends used to say I was too subservient. "Just remember, if you divorce, your mom won't see John. She has a heart condition. What if you cause her death?" Laura sneered. My face changed, and it was obvious I was hesitant. "Enough. Stop being a killjoy. Looking at your miserable face makes me sick." With that, Laura left the room, heading for our son's room. In the living room, I lit a cigarette, sitting until dawn. I knew my mom adored her grandson. Laura was right. I was too scared to risk my mom's life. The next afternoon, Laura texted saying she'd be working late, asking me to pick up our son from martial arts class. As I arrived, I saw Laura with our son and the coach, looking like a happy family of 3. Master, do you want a wife? This is my mom, I wasn't lying. She's super pretty, our son said, insisting she's way more beautiful than the coach's current girlfriend. Laura and the coach exchanged a knowing glance and smiled secretly. Silly kid, don't say things like that. What if your dad gets jealous again? She gently scolded our son, but couldn't hide her joy. I started to walk away but was called back by the coach. Gary, no misunderstanding. Kids just talk nonsense, he said. Okay. I moved to take my son's hand, but he avoided me, eyes full of disdain. All right, quit looking so defeated. Tomorrow's the weekend. Take John to his grandma's, Laura said, smiling and nodding at the coach as if nothing happened. But my son clung to the coach's hand, unwilling to let go. I knew he always wanted a strong father figure, someone who was the opposite of me. There were a few times he hinted that I should start lifting weights. He said all his friends' dads are strong. At the school sports day, I went all out and came in second. My son thought I was useless and didn't come up on stage with me to get the award. This guy has always been what he dreams of in a dad. When he wanted money to play video games, I wouldn't give it to him, but the coach did. At school, my son tripped and blamed it on a classmate next to him. It was this coach who rushed to school, pushed the classmate against the wall, and demanded an apology. My son said he loved dads with a sense of justice. To him, the coach is a big hero. On the way to my mom's house, Laura got a call. How could you be so careless? I'll go to the hospital to see you. Laura looked at me hesitantly and said her friend had acute pancreatitis and she needed to visit. I decided to go with Mom. I'll go too, I said quickly. It's pretty serious. We should check on her. But Laura got nervous for a moment, insisting there was no need and I should go pick up my mom first. John can come with me, I suggested, saying that Grandma missed him. But my son resisted. I'm not going to Grandma's. Last time, she got mad at me for eating a few popsicles. He still held a grudge about being scolded over popsicles. It was exhausting. I didn't push it. I planned to discuss the divorce with my mom. She missed her grandson and insisted on staying over for a night. I couldn't bring myself to interrupt her or make her uncomfortable. She's gotten older, a bit hunched over, and her health checkups are unstable. On the way home, we passed by a bustling outdoor competition happening at the mall entrance nearby. It was a pull-up contest with all the dads participating. Whoever did the most was the champion. My mom rubbed her eyes in surprise, pointing excitedly at Laura and our son. There they are, Laura and little John. How nice! She was happy to see them. My heart sank as I spotted the martial arts coach doing pull-ups. Wasn't Laura going to the hospital? At a mere phone call from this guy, she left my mom hanging. My eyes stung and my stomach churned. I didn't want my mom to know this. She wouldn't be able to take it. Mom, you've had a long car ride. Go home and rest. I'll have Laura bring John back later, I said, trying to sound casual. But John's voice rose. Go, Dad. You can do it, we're going to win. Dad. My son kept cheering, and I was ready to take my mom away when she asked, confused, what, Dad? I thought about lying, but I couldn't get the words out. Tasted like blood. Laura was really smug. The martial arts coach won, and she rushed over to him, throwing herself into his arms for everyone to see. She was basically saying, check out my man. Isn't he great? I got John first place, and the prize is his favorite Ultraman. Don't I deserve a reward? The man urged Laura to kiss him in front of everyone, and my mom clutched her chest in anger. We watched Laura rise up on her toes to kiss the man's cheek as the crowd erupted. My mom staggered towards them. Gary, your wife and son are acting like this with another man? How can you stand there? Explain it to me right now. On our way over, my son went on stage to claim the award, full of pride. Without me in the picture, he was over the moon. I want to thank Mommy, thank my dad. Without him, I wouldn't have gotten this prize. He hesitated, and there's one more thing I want. He didn't finish because my mom fainted. Mom, please don't scare me. I held her as we rushed to the hospital. My mom, clutching my hand, spoke all the way. John is our family's child. How could he call someone else daddy? She looked pale and sickly. I sighed, not wanting to make my mom worse. I lied, it's his coach. In martial arts, masters are like parents. He's just joking. That's not okay. My mom cried, you need to teach him properly. John's still young. I nodded to everything. I was really scared for her. Just before she was rushed in for emergency care, she told me marriage takes work. Talk to Laura, she urged, people make mistakes. She just got a little lost. I stood anxiously outside the emergency room, calling Laura. She didn't answer. Come on, stop pushing. Your mom was just asking to stay over. Why say she's in the hospital now? Make up something better, she replied. She actually thought I'd curse my own mom. I sent her pictures of the critical condition report and everything. Laura didn't come, but that night I saw a post on her social media. She and that man had taken our son out for fun. The post got hidden quickly. My mom made it through, but she's still not out of danger. Her mental state is frail. She dozed off and then woke up in shock, speaking softly like it took all her strength. I'm a burden. Once I'm discharged, I'll head home. My mom knew Laura didn't like her from day one. My e-commerce business was taking off back then. I wanted to buy my mom a place next door, but Laura stopped me. She said she couldn't handle in-law problems, wanted to be a powerful woman, and had no time for my mom. Sometimes my mom brought veggies she grew, but Laura complained. We're in a fancy neighborhood. How can I keep up if she keeps coming here like this? We'd fight about it. She's my mom, I'd shout. During arguments, Laura used our son as leverage. Later, she'd come and comfort me. Back then, I wasn't a stay-at-home dad yet. I helped Laura become a major influencer, investing a lot in her career, and I still manage her business. But she always looked down on me, seeing me as useless. Clenching my fist, my mom reached out, holding my hand. Mom just wants you to get along with Laura and raise John well, and she hopes you'll bring John to visit me sometimes. After she said that, she laid back, her tears soaking the pillow. I still couldn't bring myself to mention the divorce. I just comforted her and promised her anything. I held it together until early morning. I shut my eyes for a short nap, and when I woke up, the machines showed just a flat line. Panic-stricken, I hit the call button. I called out for doctors and nurses, but they just shook their heads when they came in. Mom just left me so peacefully. Just yesterday she was talking about wanting to see Laura and John. No point now. I wiped away my tears, took care of Mom's affairs, and days passed without a word from Laura. First thing when I got home, all I got was Laura's insults. Where the hell have you been partying? Huh? The backstage is chaos, you know that? I calmly pulled out our signed divorce papers and tossed them in Laura's face. Sign it. From today, we go our separate ways. Oh, you've got some nerve. Aren't you afraid? Laura yelled, arms crossed. Little hickeys still all over her neck. No shame at all. Leaving with nothing? Laura laughed out loud, raising a hand to slap me, a reflex move. But I caught her wrist. I used to let her do as she pleased because I loved her. Not anymore. You're hurting me, Gary. Let go. You're acting crazy. Laura hollered at me, but I just stood there, stone-faced. I threw her on the couch and said coldly, sign it. Leave with nothing or I'll expose your affair with that trainer, David. Everyone will know you cheated in the marriage. I threatened Laura. Under my management, she had become a million-follower influencer, known for being the perfect wife and mom. If this leaks, her reputation will go up in flames. You wouldn't dare. Prove it then. Laura's eyes turned red. I've got more than enough proof. Don't push me. I played a random voice clip, and Laura broke down. She screamed at me. You snooped through my phone? Gary, you've really grown some guts. Yeah, and I found out early on that I've got a big green meadow up there. I crossed my arms, lost my patience. Told Laura to sign it and get out of my sight. Are you giving up John too? He's your son. Laura tried using our son to get through to me, afraid I'd do something to ruin her. But it didn't work. Take him and get out. Sign. Take your precious son. Didn't he always want David to be his dad? Go for it. As soon as I said it, Laura pointed at me. Gary, I was so wrong about you. You've got such a tiny heart. Our shouting match drew John from upstairs. I failed as a man, became a stay-at-home dad, raised a thankless son. Mom, you don't need to put up with this for me. If you want a divorce, then do it. Let's go find David. My son talked like he was Laura's toughest supporter. It's like I became numb, realizing his true feelings. I was already at peace with it. Dad, this is the last time I call you that. Hope you don't regret today. My son told me with gritted teeth. He said if I had regrets, he wouldn't come back. I sat calmly. Go ahead. I had them and everything they owned thrown out. Laura didn't want to leave empty-handed, but fear stopped her from defying me. Thought her as a millionaire influencer, she'd be fine making money. Before leaving, Laura yelled, I fed all that money to the dogs. What an idiot. I built her public image and account. It's my property. She thinks it's all her face work. Once her main account was down, Laura opened a small one and worked hard to draw followers, while subtly crying about her situation, talking about how she got screwed over. No idea where she got the gossip from. Looking at the comments cursing me on her big account, saying Laura was unlucky to marry a jerk. I scrolled through my phone, read a lot, but the internet hate didn't bother me. Making a living online means playing the info gap. Laura thought she'd won, thinking she'd reclaim her big account. She and our son went looking for David. Outside the martial arts studio, John ran up with excitement. Dad, Mom got divorced. You guys can be together now. You can be my dad. John's eyes sparkled, but David looked grim. He dragged John to the side. Stop talking nonsense. I'm not your dad, kid. Laura came up from behind John, dressed sexy with stilettos and heavy makeup. But she's not getting any younger. John's right. I'm divorced, David, Laura whispered. No obstacles for them now. But David looked like he was in boiling water. Not happy. No more sneaking around needed. Behind, a young voice asked, David? Who's the cougar now? A young woman popped her head out, teasing, hugging David's arm, throwing Laura a challenging look. Laura's face turned ghostly white. She looked at David, stammering awkwardly. Who is she? The young girl chuckled softly. Another cougar crushing on you, huh? Or a married one? I'm telling you, David's mine, back off. Laura seethed, keeping her composure for the public eye. I just came back. The studio's owned by my family, didn't know. Did you? Yup. She's my fiancée. Wedding soon. This is Laura, John's mom. Right after David finished introducing himself, a kid who had been quiet the whole time suddenly dashed over and bit a little girl's wrist hard. The girl cried out in pain. David immediately reacted, slapping John across the face. You bad woman, you're stealing my dad. John shouted as he was pulled aside, ignoring David's punch. Cursing at the girl, he cried out miserably. David yelled, joking around is one thing, but don't talk nonsense in front of my fiancé. John felt wronged, but thankfully, Laura stepped in to stop him. Sorry, that's my son. I'm really sorry. Let me take you to the hospital. No need like a wild dog. Don't know how they raise their kids, someone remarked. David's attention was completely on this woman now, having lost his earlier generosity towards Laura. As John tried to cause more trouble, Laura quickly took him away. Stop making a scene, she said, feeling defeated inside. She realized what had happened. David had been lying to her. He always had a girlfriend. It was just a long-distance relationship because she was abroad. How ironic. Laura thought she'd found true love, but now she found herself in this situation. She cried with John on the curbside, sobbing miserably. John threw a tantrum. I want my dad. Mommy, take him back. Not that bad woman. That's my dad. What can I do? They're getting married, Laura replied, her eyes red but holding back tears. But soon, a group of men in black appeared, grabbing Laura and her son, stuffing them into a van to take them away. Inside an old warehouse, the girl's demeanor had completely changed from the fragile persona she showed in front of David. She slapped John hard across the face. Do you even know who I am? Dreaming about taking my man? She taunted. Laura was even more shocked and quickly explained. He's just a child talking nonsense. John continued glaring at them with red eyes. Gritting his teeth, Laura's heart trembled. Her family was a powerhouse in City A. No wonder they dared to take them in broad daylight. Laura's voice shook. She didn't know how much Christina knew, but it seemed there was no concrete evidence. Then don't say anything, Christina snapped. Let's give this kid a shot, the new drug we developed. As soon as the words left her mouth, a group of men pinned John down and injected him with a needle. At first, John struggled, and Laura begged repeatedly, "Spare my son. He's just a kid speaking without thinking. It's fine. Once it takes effect, he won't be able to speak. Soon you can take your mute son back. Remember, stay away from David." Christina warned that she knew Laura was a small influencer, and if she messed with her again, she'd ruin her. She left confidently. Laura realized unaware of the relationship between herself and David. How could I have believed in a man who not only cheated but also relied on others to go up the social ladder? John fell to the side, and Laura, in despair, held her son, watching him try to make sounds that wouldn't come out. "I'm sorry, sweetie. I failed you." Laura took John to many places, but no one could treat him, and some private clinics didn't dare admit him. Her family was so powerful. No one dared help. Laura turned to the internet, crying with her son in a live stream. She dared not accuse Christina or say David's name, just venting her anger. The more she talked, the more emotional she got, seeing more and more people join the stream, thinking she had succeeded in swaying public opinion. With over 100,000 viewers, Laura felt triumphant, building her account quickly. How shameless to be the other woman, no, a mutual one. A scummy couple still brave enough to cry online. Isn't that the coach Christina's boyfriend? The streamer should just come clean and think about escaping. Is it that exciting? So shameless. Still trying to incite online attacks. Want to use us to attack your husband? Line after line, Laura realized something was wrong and quickly ended the stream, checking her phone. She saw that photos of every date she'd had with David over the past year had been posted online, all in high definition, very compromising. Her blood boiled, and her first thought was me. She called, venting a stream of accusations. "It's you, right? Gary, you sneaky bastard. Didn't you say?" Too many dirty deeds under her belt. If it weren't for seeing those photos, I wouldn't have known how cheated I'd been. Not just by David, but several men. Laura, you're truly shameless. Of course, I'd never do something like this. It's illegal and unnecessary over someone like Laura. But Laura acted like a mad dog hysterically. "If not you, then who? You used to threaten me with these photos. You want me dead. I know it, but do you understand?" Laura said coldly, "Christina, she's a crazy woman. If she knows this, she'll kill me and John. John's your son. Do you want him dead?" I stayed calm, remembering how they drove my mom to her death, and how John called another man dad. "He's not my son. We signed an agreement. Didn't he want to call David dad?" Laura gritted her teeth, still trying to deny it. "That was just a child's joke." I laughed. "Was it or not? You know best. You two have nothing to do with me anymore. Anyone who drove my mom to her death deserves to rot in hell." I restrained myself, while Laura was stunned. "She's really dead? No wonder she hasn't been asking to see John." Laura was nonchalant, only mildly surprised, showing no real emotion. Why did I love this woman so deeply back then? The old Laura was just too good at acting. Before we got married, Laura would come to my house with gifts, saying she could bring my mom to live with us. Back then, I was thrilled. Thought I was lucky to have met such a perfect woman. After we got the marriage certificate, Laura changed. After the wedding, she held me even tighter, and once we had a child, I felt like she wanted my mom to be her nanny. Memories flashed through my mind. Call the cops if you want. But Laura, instead of questioning me about this, why not think about how you'll wrap things up? What are you happy about, Gary? Laura's lost it. That's your son, you know. If something really happens, your family line ends. She's ridiculous. I'm still young. I can have kids anytime if carrying on the family name's the goal. Before my mom left, She held my hand. She wished for me to be happy and free from shackles. My mom had a soft heart. She pleaded with Laura on occasion but eventually told me, if I truly wanted a divorce, it wasn't a big deal. My heart hurt a lot. You probably forgot who helped you make it big online. Did you guide your fans to attack me online? I said coldly, without my management, Laura would quickly fall from grace. And with that concrete evidence of her and David, Laura's comeback isn't looking good. All right then, Gary, you won't bother helping me with your daughter. Huh? After all these years together? Still, Laura hasn't shown an ounce of regret. Then wait until I have your son call another man dad. It's not like he hasn't before. I chuckled, not caring. If he wants to have 100 dads, it's got nothing to do with me, Laura. Watch and see. This is just the first gift I'm giving her. I didn't expose all of this, but with a tip-off to Christina, the people around her quickly sniffed out the trouble. David, the bold cheater, thought with Christina overseas he had free reign. His meet-ups with Laura were blatantly public. He made no effort to hide from anyone. They even spent holidays and birthdays together. They're the real couple, huh? Laura went to discuss matters with David. As soon as she walked in, there was David barking like a dog in front of Christina, down on the floor, looking utterly pathetic. Believe me, it was who seduced me. She got me drunk on purpose. David tried to extricate himself, desperately throwing dirt on Laura. What are you talking about? You're the one who pursued me. Laura lashed out. You DM'd my alt from backstage, saying you liked me for a long time. You even sent those pics, tempting me into cheating. They tore into each other, barking dogs fighting to a heap in no time. Christina sat nearby, perfectly calm. Filthy things have to be removed, don't they? David? David started trembling all over. He lived off Christina, would toss away his dignity before her. He understood Christina's temperament well, knew exactly what her words implied. David trembled head to toe. Christina silently directed her men to hold David down. Previously, I might have dealt with some flings, but you really went ahead and slept with someone? I despise homewreckers the most. Christina looked on, listening to David's screams. His groin soaked with blood. Laura collapsed to her knees in terror. She'd been scared witless, unable to speak. The woman suddenly raised her head. Laura seems itchy too, doesn't she? Go on, pick some tools for Laura to use. In an instant, Christina's gaze turned icy. There was no way she'd let them off easily. I was indeed using someone else's blade here. Their social standing won't let David and Laura rise again. John ran in from outside. Laura wasn't allowing him over initially, fearing something might happen. But waiting endlessly for his mom, John came in anyway. John was speechless, already mute, but Christina wasn't one for mercy. You like calling other men daddy, you little brat? All right, I'll find you plenty more dads. With a glance from Christina, Laura was taken away by subordinates, terrified, urinating herself, not realizing mere infidelity would come to this. Laura was handed to an old man, and John was sent along too. This was the new family I arranged for Laura. Please, Christina, spare me. Laura begged, knocking her head repeatedly. I really understand now. Not enough, nowhere near enough. Another year passed, my mom's death anniversary. I went to her grave with her favorite flowers. I didn't speak. She must see from the heavens. It's not that I abandoned John. He gave up on me first. Later, I visited Laura. She no longer had that youthful polish, the urban grace she once did. Her hair a mess, eyes sunken, skeletal frame. Locked in a thatched hut, eating, drinking, urinating in there as well. I saw the husband Christina set her up with. An old man, yet strong, scarred face, muscular. John's beloved strong papa. But if John missteps, he gets a thorough beating. John cried until his tears dried up. Seeing me, he ran out weeping, trying to follow. But poor kid, words eluded him. I wonder if John ever regretted. Wonder if Laura ever felt remorse. After all, they made their choices. I still hustle on the internet, push some top streamers, life's pretty calm. I had been searching for David numerous times, wanting to see such a scoundrel's fate, but kept hitting dead ends. The guy seemed to vanish into thin air. Some said Christina dealt with him secretly. Others claimed she abandoned him after the incident and he left out of shame. Rain fell gently, then heavier, as I headed from my mom's grave under an umbrella. Laura's account back-end still had fans cursing me, even when the full truth was out. Many stuck by her side. They said Laura was innocent, that she'd been framed. When Christina showed up, they started blaming it all on greed and spouted conspiracy theories. 3 years later, I happened to run into Laura at the hospital. At first, I didn't even recognize her. She was crying so hard, holding a blood-soaked John in her arms. Her voice had changed. It wasn't that sweet, soft tone anymore. It was raspy. "My baby, wake up, look at mommy." Laura screamed desperately, but John wouldn't wake up. Her eyes were frighteningly cold. "Gary, aren't you heartbroken seeing your son gone? Does it hurt?" "Yeah, it does. After all, I raised that kid. Every night, I'm hit with the sadness. I'm mad at myself for being useless, and I resent Laura. But I've come to terms with what's happened. What did John do wrong? He was just a kid." "Yeah, just a kid," I replied coldly. But he was still pointing a knife at me. "Laura, don't you see your mistakes now? After the divorce, you changed his name. He's not John now, he's Ken." I knew about all of this, but I didn't want to argue with Laura. She murmured softly, "I truly messed up. I hurt you, I cheated when I got lonely, betrayed you, and now I'm paying for it. Why does my baby have to pay for it?" Laura kept wailing and nearly fainted from crying. I found out that David had shown up. He found Laura when that old man was out. David was furious at Laura, said she ruined his rich dreams, and came at her with a knife. But unexpectedly, the kid jumped in to save Laura. David ended up committing murder. He was broken, staring at the bloody mess, clueless about what to do next. Laura grabbed a nearby shovel, ready to take David down with her. Listening to this was just mind-boggling. Is this the thrill they were chasing with their affair? One chaotic mess after another. Laura's alive, but from now on, she has nothing and will live on with guilt. She felt no remorse over my mom's death, but now her own kid is gone. Only now Laura starts rethinking her choices. She says she shouldn't have been so restless, shouldn't have gotten involved with David. None of it matters now, Laura. There's a long road ahead. David will spend his life in prison, and you'll be trapped in your own emotional prison. Your shackles, you'll carry them with you. I won't let you live in peace. You shouldn't even think about peace. Another day, I had an appointment with my therapist, and I ended up falling asleep at his office. In my dreams, I saw my mom again, running after a little kid, afraid he might trip. She said, "Slow down, sweetie. My mom was kind her whole life, always good to others, all because of me. I wish this beautiful dream would never end."